In places like Metro Vancouver, Victoria, and Kamloops, we're seeing electric fleets go from curiosity to mainstays. Smaller and more remote communities across the province are just gearing up on their electrification journey. School District 20 in the Kootenay Columbia region is looking to prove that electric school buses can be a viable option even in rugged rural areas.
Welcome to the Go Electric Fleet Show. This is where we sit down and chat about EV fleets, infrastructure, and more. Join us as we explore EV fleets here in BC.
Hi, I'm Robyn Stephenson. I am Manager of Operations for School District number 20. I will say that it all began many, many years ago when the government was wishing for fleet holders to move towards electrification. So we started investigating and working with one of our vendors, IC, and we spent some time with them just letting them know about what our needs were in British Columbia, which has got some diverse geography and weather. We had to set up some infrastructure as well to get it going. And generally, we relied on the manufacturers and went with their recommendations as far as charging infrastructure was concerned. Contacted our hydro companies about getting things set up and what we would need. And so then a plan was put in place to move forward with electrification. So I started out with putting out an offer to the folks out there who would be interested in participating and driving an electric bus and supporting the success of electrification, because I really wanted people on board who were keen on making it a success, because it is a big change. And so in addition to that, we made sure we had the companies providing a lot of training. I worked with the province and we developed a training program and trainers to go around to the school districts, including our own, to provide that to our staff before having to drive them. We had the vendors on site providing training. Once we did all that, I think we had some really great folks on our team who were willing to give it a good go and did so. I think our first bus has been in operation now. This is the 5th year. It's got over 85,000 kilometers on it. It's been a real success. And after that first one, we introduced more, and a few years ago, do a survey of our electric bus drivers just to see how they were feeling about everything. 90% of those drivers would not want to go back to diesel. So that was a big plus for us to know that they are enjoying driving them. They are much quieter. So it's an enjoyable experience for our drivers, which is a big plus. So we have 22 routes in our district. We have 10 of those routes being serviced by electric school buses. So about 45% of our route fleet is electric. We have actually 2 sites. We have 5 24 kilowatt chargers on each site. Plus we have recently installed a 120 kilowatt charger on each site as well. We charge our buses every evening. We charge our buses between routes. We always like to go out where we can with a full charge, because you don't know what's going to happen on a school bus run. I know I have some drivers who don't charge in between. They're finding they have sufficient range to do both ends of their run, morning and afternoon, with the one charge. And coming back with 60% of a charge was reported to me, but it depends on the route. It depends on the geography, it depends on the weather, it depends on the temperature. So range hasn't been an issue for our routes. However, we did find range was an issue when it came to servicing in between our school bus routes. We do extracurricular trips. Hence, we got the 120 kilowatt chargers installed recently to help us to provide that service to our schools. And it's been really a game changer. We can go out, do a run. If that driver knows they've got a trip that afternoon, they'll plug into our fast charger, get themselves topped up. So it really has made a big difference, I think, to our success in the service that we can provide to the school districts. So I would say there's a decrease in range when we're using our heaters and heating the buses in the wintertime. We have auxiliary heaters on board of our buses to ensure that we have adequate heat and to extend our range a little bit. As far as the community feedback is concerned, there's some fear of electricity and electric vehicles out there, so I've received some questions about that. We treat these buses as we do most. We've had our first responders in for training so they know where all the shutoffs are, etc. And I know ultimately that there isn't a bigger increase in any hazards on the electric buses than there are on the diesel, so I'm able to quelch that fear. And then there's the other side where people are proud to have these electric buses in our community. We know that kids are more impacted by air pollution than are adults, and so it's really nice and a sense of pride to be able to serve our community with buses that have less emissions and less pollution, and inside the environment in our buses is healthier for our kids. It's been a positive thing for our district. These buses for repairs and maintenance are far less expensive than the diesel buses, and so that's saving our district. So there are lots of good benefits that come with it, and you just have to do your planning and stay on top of it to make it successful. So without grant support, we would, as a school district, not be able to fund this. School districts are not provided with capital to purchase school buses except for what the government gives them. So the provincial government approves the buses that we purchase and finances them. And then the grants came in on top of that to help support that from both Clean BC and ZETF. And so all of those three funding avenues were used and utilized to support the financing of both the electric buses and of the infrastructure that we have in place today.
Hi, I'm Dave Smith. I've been a school bus driver now for my third season now with School District 20 here in Castlegar. I actually started off on regular diesel buses. I'm a commercial bus driver to start with, and had a chance to get on with School District 20, started off driving diesel buses, and then was given the opportunity to swap over to the electric bus. And this would be my third season now with the electric bus. And I've had this one now for 2 years. The bus itself is easy to drive. It drives basically the same as the other buses. It seems to react about the same. I think it has a little more torque and power to it. The biggest advantage, I think, is I can hear all the kids talking in the back. It's nice and quiet. All the drivers have a bit of a learning curve. The gauges are a little bit different on the buses. Some of the indicators on here take something to get used to. As far as recharging, it's something we have to get used to. Instead of fueling up a bus as normal at a fuel station every 3 or 4 days, this is charged up after every single run. But how it reacts, coming to stops, reacting and driving in town is pretty much the same, but what's beautiful about it is it's dead quiet. Pull up to intersections and you can hear the kids whispering at the back of the bus. Luckily, every bus has its own charge system. Our buses actually are parked indoors. It's a rarity around the province, probably in North America, but we are parked inside. Every bus has its own charge system or charge bay for plugging in to ensure that every bus is adequately charged at all times. We have an exterior fast charger, which I've been utilizing for if I have extra runs between shifts. I can top the system up very, very quickly, which is a tremendous advantage for the buses to ensure that the electric buses are being utilized as best we can. At the end of every shift, I'm making sure it's plugged in and it'd be ready to go for the next shift.
SD20's experience shows us that electric school buses are far more than a sustainable upgrade, but also a logical and effective entry point into the broader fleet electrification and community transformation.